Okay, welcome back, guys. Today we're going to go through dominance matrix. Now, a dominance matrix is very, very similar to a communication matrix. The vertices represent people, but instead of showing communications, we really use them to work out who's the best. So, you know, the people are in a competition, a round one competition or sport or whatever, and they're playing each other. They play each other once, and from that, we can use them to work out who's the best player, or we can use the matrix to represent who beat who. So we have a look at this one. Now, this is very important. The rows always represent the wins, and the columns always represent the loser. So we'll have a look here. A to A, well, you can't beat yourself. So these one step or direct victories always have zeros down the diagonal. Then we go across the rows. So if we look, did A beat B? No, because the direction of the arrow represents the victory. B actually beat A. So A didn't beat A, so we have a 0 here. Did A beat C? Yes, so we have a 1 there. Did A beat D? Yep. And A didn't beat E. E beat A. So we have a 0 there. So every time there's a 1, that shows us a direct victory. So A won 2 matches. B beat A. Yep, we've talked about that before. B can't beat itself. Did B beat C? Yep. Did B beat D? No. Did B beat E? Yes. So we see B won 3 games. Let's have a look at C. C, we have a 0, because it's beaten. It's only actually had 1 win. It only beat D. D beat A. No. D beat B. Yep. D beat C. No. C beat D. And D beat E. No. So D's only actually won 1 game. And E, that was actually quite successful because it's beaten D, it's beaten A, and it's beaten C. So did E beat A? Yep. Didn't beat B. Beat C, beat D, and it can't beat itself. So adding, we always add the rows, tells us how many victories and direct victories that player had. Now, when we look at that, we call this one-step dominance. When we think about the dominance, well, this guy's had 2, this guy's had 3 victories, this guy's had 1, and then this has had 3. So when we go to our rank, well, because B has won the 3 matches, it's first, but it's actually equal first with E because they've had the same victories. We'll call A came third, and then C and D came equal fourth. So because there's not that many players and the victories overlap, in this round robin tournament, it's very hard from purely a one-step dominance to get who's the best. Now we get to the concept of are all victories equal? As you can see, D and C aren't very good players because they've only had 1 win. So, but we look at B, B and E, they're very good players. So we get to the concept of, well, are victories equal? Are all victories equal? Or should we start factoring in who they've beaten into our ranking? And that's what we get with two-step. With two-step dominance, we get, if we beat, C is beaten D, right? But D has beaten B. So what that means for C, it will have two-step dominance over B because it's beaten D who's beaten B. And that'll add to that ranking. And the same for E. Well, E, okay, because it's beaten D, that doesn't have any, that'll also have two-step dominance over B because it's beaten D who's beaten B. So we factor that in. Now, this can get really complicated, but the good thing about it is all we need to do to get this two-step dominance, just like two-step communication, is we just take our one step and we square it. And to square a matrix on the calculator is really easy. We just put the matrix in and then just do it to the power of 2. Now, what we do then is we get this two-step, a player who beats another player, and we get some more scores. So A in two-step has two-step dominance over B and D. Bridget has two-step dominance. We always sum the rows. Has two-step dominance over A. It has it twice over C, and it has it 3 times over D. So it's beaten the 3 different players that have beaten D. It's beaten 2 different players that have beaten C, but it hasn't beaten a player who's beaten E. And we have a look at E. E has two-step dominance over B, has it once over C, and has it over 2 over D. Now, what we can do then to work out who's the best dominance, well, we can combine this one-step and two-step. And we always sum the rows. So we get 1, 2, and 3. So that's 4, 2, 3, 3, and 1. Well, that's 9. 1, 1 is 2. 1, 1, 1, 1 is 4. And then 1, 1, 4, 7. So what that does, well, that gives us a better ranking because it factors in not only the straight victories, it also factors in the two-step, so victories over other teams. So we have first, we have second. We still have another draw, but it's not as bad. And C is the worst player. So B is our best player, E is our second best player, A and D, they're equal. And then our worst player is C. Very, very, very useful. So just remember that D is the one step and D squared is the two step. And we combine those two to get this T matrix, which is one and two step, and we can get our proper ranking. Okay, we've got the opportunity to try that here. And I'll see how much time we got. Yep, we've got plenty of time. Oops. So we can put all that together. So first we need use the graph to construct a dominance matrix. So we just want a one-stop. We want to use the graph to construct a dominance matrix which takes into account both one and two step. So we'll start off with our one step. And how many players means how many rows. So we've got A, B, C, D, A, B, C, D. And we always put winner on the rows and the loss on the columns. So we go through and we put that in. We always have zeros down a diagonal because you can't beat yourself. A beat B. A didn't beat C. Oh, this isn't dominance. Oh yeah, it is. Okay, and we have a 0 here, and A beat D. So this is influence, but it's the same principle. Then we have 0 and 0. B goes to C, so we have a 1 there. C goes to A, nope. C goes to B, nope. C goes to D, no. And then we have D, 0, 0. Oh no, we've got a 1 there, don't we? And then D goes to C, yep, and a 0. So that is our, we'll just call that D. Now we work out D squared. Now, we can either work through our matrix or we can just take that and we can get a matrix. And we want a 4x4, so we go this, we go 4, tab 4, and we put all our things in 0, 1, 0, 1, 0, 0, 1, 0, 0, 0, 0, 0, and then we go 0, oops, 1, 1, 0. Okay, that's our one step. Now let's get our two steps. So I'll just copy it down and I'll do to the power of 2. Here we have our nice two step. So then we'll just go our one step, Control C, Control V, plus two step. Dominance matrix is one step plus two step, and then we have it here: 0, 2, 2, 1, 1, 1, 1, 0, 0, 0, 0, 0, 1, 1, 2. Okay, we'll put that together. So we've got our one step d squared. I'll put it up here. Our d squared was 0, 1, 2, 0, 0, 0, 0, 0, 0, 0, 0, 0, and 0, 0, 1, 0. Okay, construct takes into account both one step and two step dominance. So that's our one step, that's our two step. And then we want our T matrix, which is one step plus two step. So we combine them both together. We did that on our calculator before. We got 0, 2, 2, 1, 0, 0, 1, 0. So I'm just copying this off my calculator. Okay, now let's do our rank. Well, we've got 5, 1, 0, 3. So our rank is the most influential, second most influential, third most influential, and fourth most influential. So what does that mean? Well, who is the most influential person in the community? Equals this guy up here, and this guy up here was A. Okay, so that's how we do it. So I'm not really talking about wins and losses. We're like can influence, can't influence, and we can work out, okay, this guy's got the power, because taking into account influence, direct influence, and then influence through another person, we get the most influential. Not too bad if you know what you're doing, and it's just being able to interpret these networks and put that together, and that's a calculator skill.